Hey guys, it's Nicholas here, and in this video I just want to share a quick thought with you. Something that's been on my mind this week, and I hope for some of you it will get to you at exactly the right time to help you out and take some pressure off your shoulders. So in a way it kind of relates to the last video we put out, which is about root cause problems. So if you haven't seen that video yet, we'll link it in the card up there so you can check it out whenever you have time. But I guess what I'm going to talk about now is, in a way, a root cause problem, and it leads to a lot of those symptom level problems that traders encounter. So look, when we break down trading or the financial markets, there are so many different areas that you need to learn about at one point or another. So even if we think about our trading day itself, you have a morning routine, and you could learn about the best morning routine you could have and what you should be eating, what you should be drinking, what you should be doing that will set you up for the best possible day and prime your mind for a successful trading session. We then have how you can prepare your work environment, how you can break down the financial news, how you're going to do fundamental analysis and different aspects of that, how you're going to prepare your charts and do technical analysis, how you're going to find trade entries, trade management, risk management, journaling. There's so many different things. Now, you're going to probably have to learn about most of those things at one point or another, and if you're going to learn about it, you're hardly going to go for a lesson where it's like, okay, this isn't the best way to do it, but it'll get you by. It's the mediocre way of doing it. No, of course, you're going to be looking for the optimal way of doing it, the best way of doing it. If you're looking for a morning routine, you're not looking for a crap morning routine, you're looking for a great morning routine that sets you up for success. The problem is, if in every single little area of your trading, you're learning the optimal way of doing things, that's your benchmark. So if you're doing anything less than that, you're going to feel like you're not doing things right, you're not doing enough. Now, do you know what happens when someone is trying to achieve the most optimal way of doing something in every single aspect of their trading or anything in life? Do you know what happens? It becomes tedious, it becomes a chore, it becomes overwhelming, and they either fail at it or they give up. Now think about New Year's resolutions. How many people have you seen, maybe you've even gone through this yourself, where someone sets a New Year's resolution about becoming fit and healthy, and they start on January the 1st with a massive hangover and they think, right, I'm going to start having all these vitamins each day, I'm going to eat like this, I'm going to have my 5 a day, eat lots of fruit, I'm going to wake up at 5 in the morning, go for a run, then go to the gym for some weight training, do some meditation, do some yoga and stretching after that so I'm limber and keeping my joints healthy, and all of these things, right? And it becomes unmanageable. Tracking every bite that you have to eat, making sure that you have the right amount of macronutrients and stuff. It becomes difficult, it becomes tedious because we're not robots, and there are times you want to slack in certain areas. But if you've been taught that you can't slack in these areas because this is how you do things optimally, you're just going to always feel inferior. You're going to feel like what you're doing is substandard, and it's going to affect your self-esteem, and you're going to feel like you're lazy and that you never do anything right. And I see it with people. They feel overwhelmed. They feel like they've got all this weight on their shoulders. But what you need to remember is that rather than learning the optimal way of doing everything, you need to find what's optimal for you. You see, gaining experience in anything, whether it's trading, fitness, business, anything, part of the process of becoming experienced is a filtering process. You realize what's important for you and what's not. And it's the same with trading. Of course, in an ideal world, would all be these robots and like these parody videos that you see on YouTube of an entrepreneur's morning routine where it's like they're from American Psycho and they've got this precise routine every 5 minutes of the day. They know exactly what they're doing.
Then I apply an herb mint facial mask, which I leave on for 10 minutes while I prepare the rest of my routine.
We're not like that though, we're not robots, and everyone, even the most successful people in the world, will slack off in certain areas. They'll get the balance wrong between things, and other areas will be sacrificed in order to achieve optimal things in other areas of their life. And that's what life is about. It's about sacrificing in certain areas and finding the right balance for you. And balance is about priorities. Everything can't be a priority. You have to figure out what's important. So it's the same with your trading. Maybe you can't be optimal in everything, but maybe you know that one thing is non-negotiable. That has to be done in the most optimal way possible. These things, maybe not so much. Maybe I don't need this perfect morning routine because I just don't have the time. I need to get to work. Maybe I can't prepare my charts for 4 hours every day because I don't have the time. I could do it once a week and then a smaller session each day. These are the balances. So if you think about, if you want to learn anything, if you're choosing to learn it, it should be an enjoyable process. So we shouldn't burden ourselves to the point that it becomes a chore and we want to avoid it at all costs. So instead, what we need to look at is all of the other things in our life and our trading. So let's say like a career, for example. You've got to think where the compromises are. You might want to sacrifice something from your trading to accommodate your career, and you might want to sacrifice something from your career to accommodate your trading. But you've got to find what's right for you. This should be your aim, not to achieve the optimal conditions in everything, but to achieve what's optimal for you. And of course, once you get to that stage, you can always aim to keep optimizing beyond that, but it's about what's right for you and finding the balance. Not everything is going to suit you. You're not going to enjoy everything. Not everything's even going to be useful for you. So just find what's right. Experiment, test, and figure it out. Now, I think you should put it into 3 broad categories, and I'll just cover this quickly and then we'll wrap this up. So the first category is when you're learning. Now, when you're learning, your aim is not to have the most optimal trading day. It's not to get as much screen time as possible. It's to learn in the best way. So if you have a 2-hour slot, you're better off not spending an hour of it setting yourself up for the perfect trading session and then an hour just staring at the screens. Instead, have 2 hours of deliberate practice or a simulated trading session where you can cram in as many experiences into that time as possible. So that's that first stage, is your goal is to learn to trade. So you've got to think, what are the optimal conditions for learning? What can I optimize to learn better? In the second stage, it's about achieving consistency and starting to build a system that you will be able to stick to. So on one hand, you've got to think, what's optimal for doing that? What's optimal for me remaining consistent? And when you come up with different approaches that can fit around your routine, if it's like that your system's going to be stretched across 1 week, if you wait a whole year, you've only gone through 52 weeks, right? Or you might have taken some time off in between there. You're not going to get a good enough understanding of whether it's going to work for you or not. So you can backtest instead, use a simulator, replicate a week, but in a shorter scale. See if you can fit 1 week into 2 hours instead. So if you have 4 hours on a Sunday, you can go through 2 weeks and see if it will work out exactly the way that you would approach it in an actual week-to-week basis. And then the third stage is when you're committing real money and you're fitting it around your lifestyle. And it's about optimizing and tweaking things and changing things here and there on the trading side and in your life to make sure that the balance of how you have things is what makes you happy and helps you progress in the areas you want to progress the most. Not everyone is wanting to progress the most in the financial area. Some people would much rather have time to spend time with their families or to be doing some other thing they're doing on the side or having a career, whatever it might be. Not everyone has to maximize the money-making side. And sometimes if you are focused on the money-making side, you end up burning yourself out anyway. So anyway, I hope that gets to you at the right time where maybe if you're feeling overwhelmed or overburdened by this whole process of trading and learning to trade, you start to realize, look, this is your life. It's not that you have to do exactly what's being told in the lessons all the time. Make compromises, but test it out and make sure it works for you. Hope you like it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you have any suggestions for things that you want us to discuss, an area of your trading that you're struggling with, or a topic that you don't think we've covered before that you'd like to see us cover, leave it in the comments. We're going to be covering a lot more about fundamentals over the next few weeks or from now on. So keep an eye out for those. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss them. I appreciate you watching this. Don't forget to smash that like button and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.